all of us sitting here can decide that we are going to define ourselves primarily on the base of the fact that we are part of one race.
So if we want to bring about the change that we need to desire in companies, we need to change mindset and behaviors. So we can't just focusing on behaviors alone.
So leadership is about identifying potential, attach value to it, and develop it to the maximum.
I came across a quote by a Russian author, but ultimately what he says about work is this: if one wanted to crush and destroy a man, to mete him out the most terrible of punishments, all that one would have to do is make him do work that was completely and utterly devoid of usefulness and meaning.
I think the one thing about leadership for me is you obviously find leaders in different areas and different roles. And we have spoken about leadership so many times before. So we understand leadership generally. And we say to ourselves, okay, so what is a good leader? And I'm sure all of you have your own perceptions of a good leader. And the one thing I thought about this morning, which was really close to me, is obviously, people and, the treatment of people. And how do we define leadership within AFGRI, and how do we recognize leadership within AFGRI? I want to ask you one thing. How do you think, what makes you remember one leader more than the other? So what is the one characteristic that some leaders have that others don't? Achieving the impossibility. Being able to achieve all of those, but with all of those support, with all of that comfort, with all of that stretching, with all of the examples and the ethics, be able to achieve impossibility. And I've mentioned this before, but I want to read to you what Muhammad Ali said about impossibility. He said, effectively said, that impossibility is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they have been given. In other words, it's small people who are more relaxed in the world they have been given, rather than to explore the power they have to change it. And I think that's the challenge, because we limit ourselves always by the fact of our impossibilities. So it's interesting if you look at leaders, how they define themselves, not in terms of what they think can be achieved, but in terms of what they set themselves out to achieve. I think the important thing is, what I'm trying to say is, you lead automatically because you're born to lead. You don't lead automatically because you're appointed to lead. And when you're born to lead, you have a certain ability that very few people have. You must use that positively.